This stuff. Guys, we've got a really good friend of mine, Michael, giving on today with Karma Marketing and Media. And he's here for an awesome reason, but it was a mistake, man. It was a mistake. I actually had his wife on, was it last week?
Yeah, about a week ago.
Yeah, about a week ago. And we were talking about staging homes. She's had like $26 million in staged homes this year. She's killing it. And afterwards, I got on just to kind of BS with Michael and talk about how life is going, everything else. And he said, hey, man, do you have Google Business Listing? I'm like, of course I got to go. What do you think I'm like? How old do you think I am, man? So I pull it up and he's just critiquing the hell out of it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So he's like, dude, you got to make posts. That's how you make posts. And then you got to get this, like, I'm not even going to say what it is because I don't know what I'm talking about. He does. I'm going to let him do it. But I was like, holy smokes. We got to share this with the world. The world. I can't even say the word. I'm so excited. The world, man. This is big. So Michael.
The world.
With that amazing introduction, welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is a real pleasure.
So let's pull it. He made this like, I can't believe how much you're doing for us right now. Guys, this is a ton of benefit. We're not selling anything, by the way. I sound like, who's the guy who sells you stuff? He's got the really nice beard and he tries to sell you something for $19.99. I can't remember his name.
Tony Little?
No. Well, there's a Shamal guy. It doesn't matter. But anyway, let's get right into it. So he's got all this great stuff. It's tangible stuff, guys. You can take it, steal it, and go compete against me and beat me in the market, right? It does. I've already started doing it, so I'm ahead of you. But here we go. Okay, so this is a little bit about Michael. Michael, I'm just going to shut up and I'm going to let you do it, man. You tell us what's going on here.
Sure. I started in 2003, and I bought a computer for $3,200, and I figured I should do something other than surf porn with it. and as it turns out, that was right at the time of AOL, and at AOL they had the chat rooms, and I was doing all these. I was like, I don't know what to do. I was bartending at the time, and I started these chain letters in the chat rooms, and I asked everybody to send $1 to these 5 people's name on the list, and of course mine was one of them. And then you take your name off and then send it. It was something like that, right? And AOL, I of course went against AOL's terms of service, and they slapped me with some sort of theoretical fine. But one day, $1 showed up in the mail.
Rich.
And I was like, there's something to this computer. I can make money with it. Yeah. So fast forward a few years from there, I was developing websites and optimizing them for Google. And that was the time of when if somebody asked me to come in, this was around 2003, that if a restaurant, a real estate agent, business of whatever kind they'd pull me in and say, tell me why I need a website.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you need me to sell you on this, I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah, exactly.
So since then I've worked with home stagers, custom home builders, real estate brokerages, plastic surgeons, AC people, attorneys, law firms. I mean, everybody. Probably have built over 1,000 websites in that time. So, So what you've got up right now is the Google My Business. That's kind of where you and I were, where we left off with Allie's home staging business.
Yes.
Where we were talking about hacks, and we might as well just jump in on that. So we've got a quick win for anybody who's hung in here this long with us. What I wanted to tell, what you and I were talking about was with your Google My Business page. Is it just the title of your business, right? And you said, yes, it is.
I think I had like Joe Rosen Realtor and then findafloridahouse.com. I think that's what my name was.
Right. There you go. So what I've found, and there's a little bit of variation on this with how Google receives this information, but you can take your Google My Business page and change it from, say, Cliff's Air Conditioning and Heating, which is the top item up here.
Yeah.
And add in the search term with the highest amount of volume and the one that you're really hoping to succeed for. And this one happens to be air conditioning, Port Charlotte. Shove that in front of it, hyphenate your business name, and guess what happens? You start showing up for air conditioning in Port Charlotte, right? And if you scroll down, the next one is Northport Vacation Rental, and that happens to be my house that I rent out seasonally, and it shows up. I did Northport Vacation Rental, Northport Short-Term Home for Rent, things like that. My business is Karma Marketing and Media, and we show up for Sarasota SEO, Sarasota web design, things like that. And so on and on. You can just kind of figure out, just think about your business name, whatever that is, and it's the search term. It's the thing you do and where you do it. And that's it. Shove that in front of your Google My Business page title, and you'll start showing up. That's one thing that will help you move up. You have to have good Google reviews. You need to have posts, and you need to have your services and products put in there. But those are some real short and quick, easy fixes to get you to start showing up on Google Maps.
So I got some questions. You've got air conditioning, Port
Yep.
Charlotte, Northport vacation rental, Sarasota SEO. So it's really like, for me, I forget exactly what I put, but it's probably Port St. Lucie, either realtor or real estate, right?
Right.
Okay. Space, and then whatever my name is, Joe Rosen. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I've seen a couple of areas. I have one client that's done it, and actually, there's two people. One of the AC people that I work with,
Yeah.
and myself. Where Google, somebody might have squawked to Google about that because all their name might be air conditioning Sarasota, right? But and that's fine. That's fine for them to have that name, and they're squawking because, well, this guy says air conditioning Sarasota as well, but there's a hyphen in their business name after that, so it's not the same. Google doesn't seem to have done any major wrist slapping about it. They just go, well, we're just going to change your name back to what your business name is. And so that happened with me, and I had kind of sandbagged the search terms in the Google title. And then I just went back and changed it the other day to Sarasota SEO, Sarasota Web Design -- Karma Marketing Media. It's still there. Nobody at Google seems to be too bothered by it.
So you brought up two things that I thought were interesting. I'll touch on the first one first. You said you've got to have good reviews. Explain what the definition of good reviews is.
Well, one of the things that we do is that, it's really important to have 4 or 5 star reviews, right? And every once in a while, and this may have happened to you, but if it hasn't, it's happened to a ton of businesses, where you get a drive-by. You get somebody that you have no idea, nobody you've ever worked with, might be like a Google, whatever the guy is that just goes around and writes reviews. So he's like the authority on the area. Well, we got one of those early on, and it was super irritating because we office virtually, and what that means is, especially in COVID, it's a no-brainer. I office out of my home. My guys office out of their home, and we work flawlessly that way. Well, this gentleman drove by, did a voice-to-text review of my home with no punctuation or grammar included, and gave me a 2-star. So now the best that I could ever get in my career is 4.9 stars. Google doesn't care. Google doesn't care. You know, I've asked for a review of it, and it's just never happened. But what's really important when you get a review like that is you respond to that person and say, hey, thanks for your review, even though you don't really want to thank them for it. Right? Yeah. But you thank them for their review, and you say, although we've never done business together, we really appreciate you taking the time to leave a review. And like many web companies, we work virtually, or many businesses now, we work virtually. And that's why there's no storefront. And so what you really want to do when it comes to Google reviews, if you do get a bad one, you want to respond to it. And because you're not speaking to that person, you're speaking to every other person that's going to see that review. Yeah. And I've done that too. I know I've gone before, because that's what you look for. You look for what's the negativity, and can I swallow that pill, right? Always. Yeah. So if you can see that they're like, hey, I've never done business with you. How can we help? Reach out to us. And then there's no other response. Usually I chalk it up to kind of the story you just said. I mean, that makes, especially if there's only a couple. And okay, the second question I was going to ask is, you talked about you got to have good reviews. You've got to have solid posts. What are you talking about with posts? Like even I'm doing it because you told me to do it, but I have no clue what those posts do or where they go. Sure. What's really helpful for search engine optimization, for showing up at Google organically in your website. So you have Google My Business over here, and you have your website over here. Google wants you to stay on Google. And so they're creating value and priority of the Google My Business page, your Google My, where you show up on Google Maps, things like that. They want to keep you at Google instead of sending you sending people to your website. So why? So for example, if you do a search for Port St. Lucie real estate agent,
I'm going to do it if it's sharing my screen. I'm going to do. Would you say Port St. Lucie
real estate agent?
Okay. All right.
So a lot of times you'll have well, first of all, you have the Google AdWords that shows up. Then you have the map, right? And this is where you really want to show up well. And there's opportunities here. And you and I talked about this. So how you can hack the Google My Business, the map where you show up on it, is having really good reviews, a volume of them. You have to have a good high volume. So you should go back, with your past clientele, ask for them to leave a review. You can get the short link from Google, or there's other software out there that that we use that can help get those reviews. But go ahead.
So this one, Prudential Real Estate's at the top.
Mm-hmm.
When I come into, what's that?
Go ahead.
Like, I don't see any reviews for these guys.
Well, that one might be is that paid?
I don't know. How do I know?
Sometimes it'll show sponsored, but one of the best ways to show up well at Google My Business is to have an address that's close to the city hall. I've seen this time and time again, where if you are, for example, a client of mine is up in Minnesota. He does laser engraving. It's lasered from the heart. And he just recently moved from one location. He downsized because of COVID from $4,000 a month to like $800 a month.
Oh, wow.
And it happened. Yeah, he had to pivot because otherwise it was with what's been happening, there's just there's no other choice, right? So he moved to this building right inside City Hall. And so anytime anybody's searching for virtually anything, he shows up.
Because Google's pulling from the city center, and they're considering that the city center?
Yep. City Hall is the city center. So if you can get an address and you add that to your Google My Business page, and you are able to get your authentication code, your postcard sent to that, and then you type that into Google, and that is your actual address as far as Google is concerned.
Yeah.
You'll consistently show up at the top.
So I'm not getting this. Like, I don't think you're suggesting that I actually go rent a space near City Hall. You've said, what is it, virtual office?
Right. So the hack to this is you get a Da Vinci virtual office, or there's a couple others, a Regus office. And what I did for my business was I office out of my home in Northport, which is 45 minutes from Sarasota. Right. My wife's business is home staging, and she's on Bee Ridge in 75, which doesn't probably mean much to you, but it's probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes from the town center. Well, I found a virtual office that is 5 minutes from downtown Sarasota.
Wow.
It cost me $105 a month to set it up. I got my Google postcard confirming my new address at this virtual office. I plugged it into Google once I got that virtual office. So it was really a one-time get the mail, and I instantly within the next day was showing up number one because I had great reviews for Sarasota web design. And so you can do that. You can extrapolate that out to anything. Sarasota home staging, real estate, etc.
So I've got Da Vinci. It's Da Vinci Virtual up here. What was the other one you said? Regus?
Regus is the other one. And so you kind of just want to look at what either one of these guys have that's closest to the city center, and it'll help.
Regus US. I'm spelling it wrong. Okay, so it's just regus.com /en-us. Okay, well, that's important to know.
So that's saying that it's English and US, so they must they're international.
Gotcha. Okay. Man, that is interesting. So let me, because I don't know.
Hack.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's amazing. So let me show everybody, because you had to walk me through this. I didn't get it, and I'd like to consider myself a little bit savvy. I'm a 6 out of 10. So let's walk people through it. So I'm going to come up here, and I click on. No, I go to Google. See, I still don't know.
Go to Google.
Go to Google. Yep. There we go. Now I find these 9 little boxes. Right, Google Apps. Click on it.
Yep.
Click on the top right, My Business.
My Business. Yep.
And this is it. This is me.
This is it.
So you can see I'm Port St. Lucie Real Estate, space dash space. I can't even say it. Joe Rosen Realtor.
Yep.
And because of you, I added some posts. Now I had, look at this, map views in the past 28 days up 25%. I'm telling you, that's almost all since I talked with you.
Yeah. So like a week and a half ago or something. And you'll see it grow.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. And I started doing posts. Look at that. My review that shows is my dad. Thanks, Dad.
That's awesome. Well, listen.
Yeah, whatever.
What I think is important to do with the posts is to put that graphic up. I'm gonna give you a couple of tips on this. So you do the graphic. You do one, even if you just do a paragraph about what it is, where it was, what you did, and then you link that back to your website. That'll help you. Get more traffic to your site because you're getting inbound links to your website.
Are you saying?
So you've done a good job there.
So like this one's good, but you're saying at the end I should check it out at findafloridahouse.com.
No, what you've done right here is just fine because your learn more is what takes people to your website. It's sort of,
Does it?
Google's minimalist. Yeah.
Look at that.
Minimalist. But what you should do is instead of you're sending people to contact, and I can see why you're doing that, so that makes sense. But maybe you want to send it back to maybe you have a blog post in your website about this particular home.
Yeah.
And if you had that text or similar text in your website that's talking about what the property was, where it was, where you did it, and you're using words like Port St. Lucie real estate agent, home for sale in Port St. Lucie, things like that, that really pays off dividends because eventually you have enough of that content in your website and Google thinks that you're an authority on it.
Interesting. Okay. So you bring up another thing, if I even know what the heck I'm talking about here, which is, and I hope I'm not stealing your thunder.
Not at all.
Backlinks?
Backlinks.
Backlinks. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
Well,
you're like, hold on, buddy.
Well, where are we at? So search engine optimization, organic search engine optimization. If you want your website to just show up really well at Google, not Google My Business, which is what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to scroll down towards the bottom where we're talking about backlinks. Keep going.
I did steal your thunder.
Right here.
Oh, right here, this guy.
No. So what we do is in our monthly search engine optimization sort of ethos is we create blog posts for all of our clients, 4 to 8 of them, 1,000 words, 500 words, 1,500 words. It just sort of depends on budget. But for example, this is Docklight, and they're a solar powered dock cap made in the USA, and right here in Venice, and they're great. And their lights last for 7 years. It's awesome. But here's the thing. So what we do is we create these blog posts, 7 reasons why, solar dock lights will make your life easier. We do 1,000 words of that, and we use the keywords that we're trying to show up for, because that's what it's really about. Having content about and having those keywords that you want to be found for. Then we fire it out to the media companies throughout the U.S. So we usually get picked up for about 130 to 140 media sites. So like ABC7 up in Tampa or Sarasota. They'll
30 or 40.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
No, 130.
130. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. Thanks for correcting me.
Yeah.
And they'll pick it up, and then they have a high domain authority. And a high domain authority means that they've been around for a long time. Google has a high value attached to them. And so when you get a link back to your website from sites like this, it automatically brings you up.
Boosts you up.
Search terms that you're trying to show up for, right? And so that's them. So that's backlinks in a nutshell. There's other ways to do it. We don't have to go into that right now, but this is like, it's almost like if you create a press release and send it out to media sites, that's what this is. But we've hacked it, and we just do it with your blog, with the blog posts, and it just brings people right back to the website.
Yeah. So how do you get 130 on board with this?
Well, we have a service that we work with that gets them,
Okay, okay, that makes sense.
yeah. It's a
Um,
lot of time and it's
that would be,
it's a lot
that's
of work to get
exactly
those.
what I want to. I'm thinking, is
Right.
this something I want to invest my time in or not? No.
It's
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, if I'm going too far down or too far up or whatever, you just tell me.
Well, this is good. So this is coming to our success stories. This would be, we were talking about Google My Business, and we can sort of click back on that. So I told you that I just changed my Google My Business page.
Yeah.
I had it just sandbagged with all kinds of keywords in it, kind of like old school SEO, where you could just shove all kinds of keyword tags
Yeah.
into the website and change the color to whatever the background is of the site. Like if it was black background, you could just change the keywords, and that was like 15 years ago.
Interesting.
And that's kind of what I did. I did a naughty thing, but
yeah.
And Google was like, nope, we'll just change it back to your name, and there's nothing happened.
Ah.
And so now I've been less greedy on this time around, and I just went Sarasota SEO, Sarasota Web Design, Karma Marketing Media. So anybody I think what I've learned from this is don't shove too many keyword phrases into your title. Right?
Man. Well, I wasn't smart enough to do that in the first place, but I'm glad you told me.
But look, so if you search Sarasota Web Design, my company shows up first. And this isn't just an infomercial for me. So if you scroll down, and you'll see it with all of our clients. You can go past that. Keep going on that. Keep going on that. That's all right. Just next to the next. So then this one would be for a business up in Minnesota. This will be pretty popular now because of COVID with the hybrid learning. So they do in classroom training and also online training. And this business has been around for about 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and they are now top for NDT. NDT is non-destructive testing, which is they do use radiography or X-ray for testing bridges, pipelines, things like that.
Yeah.
To see if welds are bad, right? Power plants,
so
refineries.
If I'm understanding this correctly, this column right here is July 9th of this year or of last year?
So that would be probably 1 year, and then the one to the right. Oh no, that's 1 week.
That's one week. So
you can see how things move up and down.
Yeah, non-destructive testing. They were I assume this is 68. So if I Google non-destructive testing, they were showing up 68th on the list. Now they're showing up 10th.
I'm not quite. Can you scroll up? I can't quite tell which time frame that was. If that was a year or not. I think that is a year. Yeah,
where am I going to?
That's it. I think that's a year though. I think that's July of last year to this year.
So that's a year.
Yep.
I mean,
so
that's
a year.
Crazy.
Yeah, and if you look on the right side, which is what I wanted to highlight, that's the volume of searches per month, right? So if you have a keyword that you're on the first page for, if you just look at NDT, over there in the volume, that's 14,000 and change searches a month, and he's on the first page for that. And so if you have multiple pages that you're showing up on for high search volume, the phone starts really ringing, or the product starts really selling.
Wow.
Yeah.
These are really good analytics. I love this.
Yeah, this is a piece of software called SEMrush, SEMrush, and it's several $100s a month, but it is fantastic. You can.
But
really
if I'm your client, you pay for this. I just pay you.
I pay for this. If you want to do your own research, it's called semrush.com, and it's a real eye opener. But yeah, we include that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So scroll down to the next one.
This is home staging by a gal I've met before.
Right. And so home staging Sarasota, this is showing up first on Google My Business, and then also search results. And what I wanted to highlight on this one was, if you name your images the search term that you want to be found for, this is a real hack, you guys. If you name your images the search term that you want to be found for,
yes,
it'll show up in Google Images. So,
Dude.
for example, yep. So if you want to show up for Sarasota real estate or Port St. Lucie real estate,
Yes.
get a photo gallery in your website and start naming all of your images Port St. Lucie real estate agent or Port St. Lucie home for sale or whatever, like whatever your little nuanced areas are for the real estate agents.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
I
So
love
Ellie shows up and all of her homes show up across the board in Google Images.
And she's got her, I mean, if I don't know anything about home staging and I'm trying to get this done in Sarasota and I pop this up, I can see her website right on the bottom of all those top 6 photos.
Yeah.
She owns the top row.
Yeah. And if you like the work, you'll click on the link and it'll take you right to her photo gallery and you'll see more. And then there's, lead gen, call outs for, if you like this, please call me,
That's amazing. Okay, what else we got? Man, what other goodies we got? Oh,
what other gems?
Smokes.
Yeah, and she's across the board. So she's very active in her Google My Business page. She's constantly putting posts up, constantly grabbing images from her real estate agents, putting them in. And so this would be, if you're a real estate agent, you want to keep putting in your past images, getting them in, name them properly, right? Home staging, Port St. Lucie, Miami, whatever.
So I got a question. I get a new listing. I got 20 new photos.
Mm-hmm.
Is that 20 posts or 1 post? How do you do that?
Well, you can do a couple of things. You can create a photo gallery page with that website, or excuse me, with that property.
Yeah.
And that's just the photo gallery. So that might be one part of your website. And the other side would be your blog post. And it would just have, it would be a much more legged out, a lot more volume in content and words, right? And so you could do your photos in the photo gallery, and then you can do your blog post.
Gotcha.
And I would name them. I would take advantage of the naming convention. So for you, it would be like Port St. Lucie real estate .jpg, right? Port St. Lucie real estate .jpg 2 or .2 JPEG.
So when
I go to your,
where's the post I was going to ask you about? Okay, so this post right here. If you ever gone looking out, blah blah blah, it talks about new construction, right? I don't remember in my life ever seeing a post like this from someone. Where is somebody going to find this post?
Well, so those will come up let me just reset. Google sees the words that you have in your post.
Yeah.
And if you're using the search terms that people are looking for, it'll have a relational value to the results that it displays. Okay. And so the more content you have in your Google My Business page, the more value Google gives you. So if you continue to post here, you will show up in the search results for, like, again, Port St. Lucie real estate agent.
Gotcha.
And it'll eventually just be like, hey, here's the latest post from this from this real estate agent.
Yeah.
Would you like to see it? Yeah, I would.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, is this the air conditioning guy you were telling me about? He just started?
Air conditioning guy. This is Bruce Bowersox. He started 18 months ago. He had one single truck, and we have brought him up to 7. He's running 7 crews now.
Woo!
He dominates the Venice, Nokomis, Northport area. He is getting, I think he's gotten, if you scroll down to his Google My Business page,
this is so interesting to me.
I think he got like 90 phone calls last month, or 80.
Oh, this is not it. Is this what you're talking about, or no?
Yep.
Okay.
Keep going. I mean, he basically just dominates for the local searches. So yeah, I guess I didn't put that in there, but he got like 84 calls last month alone just off his Google My Business page. And when just think, if you're getting almost 3 phone calls a day, Joe, what would that mean for your business?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'll tell you, as a real estate agent, I'm probably calling 75 to 100 cold calls. That's what I do. 75 to 100 cold calls will get me 3 solid leads, right?
Right.
So it saves me 75 to 100 cold calls. That
saves you a ton of time.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. So in a year, you got this guy, Venice Air Repair, 23 to 1. Nokomis AC, 96 to 2, 23 to 2, 65 to 2. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
So what is he just paying you a bunch of money, or is there something he's also doing to make this happen?
Well, he's paying me a monthly retainer, and then I spend all my time just trying to make him. It's a couple grand a month is what it is.
But it's no effort on his part.
Zero effort on his part. We create the blog posts, we create the backlinks, we do everything. Yeah. And he sent me a message the other day. I'm like, "How's it going?" He's like, "Dude, we're almost too busy. I almost can't respond to you."
Yeah.
And that's not me just being. That's just what he's saying. And so I take him at his word. But also, we don't necessarily have to do everything when we work with our clients. There's also other people doing blog posts or Instagram posts or things like that. So we just kind of come in and help them. But for Bauer Sox, we do a majority of their outgoing marketing things. Same thing here with this is another air conditioning company, Port Charlotte AC. It's Cliffs Air Conditioning, and they're ranked #1 above the actual Port Charlotte air conditioning.
Oh, that's the guy you were talking about.
And they actually rank higher than the guys who should be ranking.
Oh, poor guy.
They're not happy.
111 344 4444. Man.
I mean, yeah. And it usually takes a little while when we start working with people. I get a lot of clients that by the 4th month they get frustrated because pricing is like $1,000 to $2,500 a month.
Yeah.
And depending on how important that money is to you, you might pull the eject button a little too soon, and then you might see those results like 10 months to a year down the road, and then suddenly you're like, well.
Yeah. So what do you, when you recommend to someone starting with you, you can't, like you said, you can't just do 30 days. How long do you tell them, like, hey, really, you should commit to this amount of time or more? What's that minimum?
Yeah. It's usually 6 months.
Yeah.
And then we just do month to month after that. A lot of these SEO companies are like just vampires. And that's not how I work. I just try to get the best results for everybody. We do a short-term contract, 6 months, and then it's just month to month after that. Give me a 30-day notice, and then we'll be done. But usually people want to continue to grow with me.
Yeah.
And I like to grow with them. And that's been the little bit of the secret of my success. It's what I found in the last couple of years of my career. I've been doing this for 17 years, and I feel like most of the mistakes are behind me.
That's pretty awesome for someone who's hiring you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that is pretty amazing. So just to sum it up, right? Let's give people 3 actionable things they can do immediately. You can number 1, just get a doggone Google business listing. That's something a lot of people, and talk about that. That's a process. And I was completely lost. And when I built it when I was coming down here. So I was in Washington State. Coming down here, it asked me for an address. I didn't know why.
Right. You have to have the address. That's why I talked about that virtual office.
Yeah. So I don't remember who I talked to or what I said, but it was months later. I'm like, where's my Google business listing? And they're like, well, did you get the postcard? I'm like, postcard? Yeah, the address you set up. I'm like, what address? I didn't have an address. So I don't even remember what I probably used the brokerage with 240 agents. The brokerage address, it's probably in the garbage,
Right. It's for sure in the garbage.
So how does that process work?
Well, I think you get 7 days, and I haven't looked at it recently, but it's either like it's maybe 7 to 9 days or 7 to 11 days.
Yeah.
You'll see it when you request it, but you have to jump on it quickly. It's they don't give too much time on it, but that's the thing you need to do. So if you want to show up well at Google My Business. In the city that you're trying to show up for, get a virtual office. Unless your business address is there, but get a virtual office that's right by the city hall. Pay them 6 months, and then stop paying them.
Yeah.
And just get your postcard because they have minimums. I think Da Vinci and Regis sort of figured it out that people are trying to hack the system.
Yep.
It'll cost you $600, $800, but it'll propel you to the top of Google My Business, and it'll easily pay for
a realtor. Yeah. I mean, one deal pays for 5 of those.
Easy.
Yeah. Okay, so get a Google business listing. Make sure your address is as close to City Hall as you can get, and you can use DaVinci,
Yep.
Regis, whoever to do that through. And the naming. I thought the naming was really important. I thought that was pretty cool. And it's simple. It literally took me 15 seconds.
It's super easy. And my friend in Atlanta, Chris, she has a photography business. And she just, I talked to her about all of these things in one weekend. She came down here, we hung out. She restructured her blog and changed all the photos in her photo gallery to like Atlanta photographer, Atlanta portraiture.
Yeah.
You know, all of those things.
Yep.
And she's killing it.
Boom. That's amazing. That's amazing. I honestly want to get out of here because I want to get in and I want to change all my damn photo because I don't think we talked about that. Either that or I was so doggone excited about all the other things.
No. It was new. This is new, Joe. This is new. New information.
Every time I talk to you, new. That's amazing, man.
All right.
Well, hey, I appreciate it. Do I need to be a Florida guy to use you?
No, I work anywhere.
Well, obviously,
Minnesota.
You got a friend in Atlanta.
I'm originally from Minnesota, but you know, with how COVID is happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been working out of my home for years, and we do Zoom meetings. We were doing Zoom meetings to begin with, and now it's fully Zoom meeting. And so no, it's super easy to work with. I'm super accessible. I pick up my phone when I get called, and if I don't, I return the phone calls quickly, respond to emails, do all those things like a real, like somebody with a work.
Like a true professional. Yeah, well, you're from the Midwest. Yeah.
Right.
Just offended 90%.
Thank you for filling that in.
I'll say it. I'll take the hit in my business.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So we've got your website, I think I put Facebook and your Instagram up in the comments.
Thank you.
If these guys want to email you and ask you how they can take advantage of your services, where do they email you at?
Michael at Karma Marketing and Media.
Boom.
So, yeah.
Too easy. Well, hey, man, I sincerely appreciate it. You've done wonders for me. Hopefully I get you some business out of this because this is so helpful for people. And I think just anybody like me, you're just clueless, man. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, my friend.
All right. Cheers.